Someone just leave a negative comment. Go on. I dare you. What is up, everyone? Movie Wayne back again with another review, and this is going to be for the 2021 film Nobody, and this is directed by Ilsa Naishuller and stars Bob Odenkirk. Now, this tells the story of Hutch Mansell, a seemingly normal, everyday nobody who becomes involved in a feud with some thugs, leading him to become a target of a dangerous drug lord. Now, I'm not going to lie, going into this movie, I thought they had made a terrible casting choice with Bob Odenkirk in the main role. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a great actor, but playing this action star, I was looking at the movie posters and stuff and thinking, I don't quite know if he's going to fit the bill there. Have they just plucked him out because he's the hot topic now with Better Call Saul and coming off the back of Breaking Bad, playing Saul Goodman, who everyone loved. And I just thought, they've got him because he's in the prime of his career and he'll do, and it's a bit of a gimmick really. But I kept that to the back of my mind because obviously you have to judge the film overall once you have seen it in full, and I'm glad I kept it to the back of my mind because I couldn't have been more wrong even if I wanted to be. Now, Odenkirk plays Hutch Mansell, a guy in his late 40s, early 50s. The same day is happening over and over. He's stuck in this dead-end job, or a job that he's clinging on to be something better, but he doesn't quite know if it's going to be. You know, he's sort of in limbo there. And he just isn't getting on with his wife. He's in a marriage that isn't really going anywhere. He's just this average Joe, a nobody if you like. But man, when this guy turns up the fucking heat and loses it, boy does this turn into one of the best action films I have ever seen. And this is why the casting of Bob Odenkirk is genius. Naishuller reels you in with a false sense, like I was. And he has to be unsuspecting for this movie to work. If he was walking down the street, you wouldn't think twice. You wouldn't even look at the guy. And you wouldn't think in a million years that Hutch Mansell is capable of what he is in this film. And him being a mysterious character only elevates him even more. And boy, when Odenkirk snaps, or Hutch Mansell, should I say, is this movie at its best. There is a epic scene that takes place on a bus where Hutch Mansell is just sitting at the back and these thugs want to get on and cause trouble, and he's actually praying that they'll get on because he is desperate to let off some steam and just kick some ass. What ensues is honestly one of the best action scenes I have ever seen. It really is. I mean, this movie is best compared to John Wick because it's that type of movie where he's just taking on a load of bad guys, but these fights are more grounded, they're more believable if you like. They're slowed down versions of the John Wick fights, and honestly, I prefer this. I mean, it just benefited the movie in a massive, massive way. I just preferred to watch these scenes. They were just more believable. Not taking anything away from John Wick, by the way. I do think it's a fantastic film. But the violence here as well is perfectly balanced. I mean, there's not too much gore, there's not too little. You just throw the right amount in, because like I said, it's believable. If you've seen this ensue in real life, you'd probably expect this amount of gore to be in there. I mean, there's not heads exploding or anything like that. It's just nicely, finely balanced. And there's also some really funny action set pieces as well that just made me laugh, and it all came together so well. That's another thing, this film is really funny. I mean, it has dark humour that dares to tickle you. And it just made the whole experience such a fun time. There's a scene in a restaurant where Hutch Mansell is sitting there, and this restaurant is owned by his biggest enemy, and what unfolds is something quite hilarious. I mean, I was laughing my ass off. I'm not going to ruin it for you here, but there's just so many one-liners and great quotes. It just felt like an 80s film, you know, where action movies just wanted to have fun, but also stays very in the modern era at the same time. It just works so well. And this movie is fucking awesome. This film also has a great soundtrack as well. I mean, some of the song choices were perfect for what was happening on screen, especially the action scenes. It all just flowed so well together. I think the best word to describe Nobody is stylistic, and the soundtrack helps that massively. Apart from one song, by the way, which happens towards the end of the film, I mean, the grin on my face was this much, and then it just went when that song come on. But that is a personal side note because it's my favourite football team's rivals anthem. Yes, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of such an amazing movie. You also get a really good villain here as well. I mean, he's in his late 60s, early 70s, but when you see this guy fuck someone up as soon as he enters the fray, you sit back and take notice, and I was like, oh, shit. I mean, he was one to be feared. I mean, he's not exactly Hans Gruber, but he's good enough. Nobody is also perfectly paced as well. It's only a 90-minute runtime, but I didn't want it to end. I mean, I was fully entertained from start to finish. Not once was I bored, and the fact it just kept throwing little mini surprises at me just made me jump for joy. I mean, this is probably the most fun I've had with a movie in a long time. And one thing I will say, towards the end of the movie, nobody threatens to go full Rambo Last Blood. I mean, it doesn't actually go there, but it's putting its foot over the line just a little bit. I mean, it comes off the ground, which has been firmly flat-footed on through the rest of the runtime. And I kind of wish they never went that far, but then again, it doesn't go as far as other movies. It's a minor negative. Listen, this movie is brilliant. I mean, it's not going to give you a deep, meaningful story. It's not a masterpiece by any means, and you've probably seen this before. However, I don't think it's been done as well as this before. But if you like films like John Wick and stuff, you have to give this a go. I mean, even if you don't like films like John Wick, just give it a go. I couldn't recommend it anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Nobody a 9 out of 10. Quite possibly my favourite film of 2021 so far. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Nobody is that this film is actually based on an idea that Bob Odenkirk came up with, because he actually experienced a home invasion in real life, which happens at the start of this movie, and he locked 2 burglars in his basement, and he was kind of pissed off that the court didn't really do anything about it, so he came up with this idea. He also trained for a full 2 years for this film. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. We've got a lot more reviews coming, lots more videos, and if you want to comment about Nobody, leave it down below, and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy, guys. Watch Nobody, and I'll see you all in the next video.